Welcome to my pad. My name is William Ho. I'm a game designer at United Frank Games. I'm going to show you Track Studio in ModNation Racers, and it's the absolute easiest way for you to make race tracks right from scratch. It only takes a few minutes and the results are amazing. We're really proud of this feature in ModNation Racers. Let's go to the PS3. First thing I'm going to do is create some terrain. I've got a character named King Cow, and he's got a rustic old pickup called Moo Express. So I'm going to make some farmland for these guys to race around. We've got tons of different what we call terrain brushes, and we've got some rougher ones. We've got different shapes that you can literally sculpt terrain with. So I'm going to choose this one here. And using the direction pad on the DualShock controller, I can actually scale it up and scale it down. And with a press of the X button, I've got terrain. So I just fly around the scene. I can scale this anytime I want. If I want to make some more bigger rolling hills, I can do that. I'm happy with that. Now I can go and lay some track. So I'm going to choose lay track here. Got my little King Cow in his pickup. He's going to drive around the scene and find a place for the start line. So I'm going to put that right here. Hit the L1 button. The character turns into a steamroller. And now using normal driving controls, I can actually drive around this scene and lay down my track. You notice as I drive around, it's actually conforming to the rolling hills that I created just seconds ago. So I get banking and elevation with very little effort. If I don't want to finish the track myself, I can even hold down a button that says autocomplete. It actually steers the steamroller back towards the finish line for me. So in seconds, I've made a brand new, original, functioning racetrack. Let's check it out. I can fly the camera around, take a look at it. I can hit the circle button, go into test drive mode, and instantly I'm driving that track I just created. We've got some AI opponents driving on the track so I can get a feel for what the racing might be like on this track. That's pretty cool, but I'm not finished yet. I'm going to go back into edit mode and I can modify that road that I just created. I'm going to go into road styles, and so we've got different surface brushes here. We've got some pavements. Notice at the bottom I've got some cobblestone. I've also got dirt, and I think dirt would be really appropriate for farmland here. And I can literally fly along the racetrack and paint dirt in to my track. We've got some farmland fencing to go with the dirt road, and maybe leave a short stretch of paved road. And you notice that between the pavements and the dirt, we've got transitions. We handle that smoothly for you. Next up, I'm going to go back into some edit tools. I think there are some spots where maybe I want to flatten it out or change the banking, change the width. So I just fly along the track here. We've got at the bottom here, we've got width, we've got lift, and we've got banking. So I can use any of these tools to tweak that track however I want and craft the perfect drive. Next up, I'm going to add some trees. We can do that very easily. Go into edit, place props. We're going to place along track. So right away we've got a tree brush. All I have to do is move this brush to the side, hold down the X button, and move the left joystick, and we're painting in trees. I move to the other side here, paint in some trees on the other side as well. Also, with all of our tools, we've got undo. So if I have too many trees there, I can actually hit the R1 button and undo that. It's that easy. I can expand this palette here and see all of the brushes that we have to work with. We've got buildings, we've got rocks, we've got a few farm animals, which I'll get to in a second. We can also put in a few buildings. So I'm just gonna find a barn here. And just like with the trees, I can fly along anywhere. I can also scale and rotate any of the buildings to the size I want. Maybe one on the inside here, and one more for good measure. There we go. Now here's where it gets really cool. I'm going to show you how you can actually make a full racetrack scene in a few seconds. While it's asking me, do you want to auto-populate your track? And auto-populate is amazing. I'm just going to hit the X button. What auto-populate does is it actually pulls from all the parts that are available, flies around the track, and builds the scenery for you. And you're going to see it in action live here. So it's flying around, it's added trees, it's adding grass, it's adding racetrack props, it's changing the surface types for you, smackable objects, everything you need for a full scene. And so we can now fly around this track, and you'll see we actually have a finished racetrack, and I didn't have to do anything. It was super easy to do. We can actually go into test drive mode, and drive that track right now. So we've got boost pads that work, we've got chevron arrows that tell you where to turn, there's the start finish line, we've got a small village, we've got a bit of a forest going on. Just because auto-populate is easy to use doesn't mean that we don't have the power of the Track Studio and we can actually go in and make a few tweaks.
Just gonna go back into the edit mode, gonna go into place props. I'm gonna show you some of the cool editing tools we've got. We can actually marquee select a bunch of these trees to make a clearing. Boom. And we just hit the triangle button and those props are gone. So I've made a nice little grassy area for some animals to graze. And I'm gonna go into place props again. I'm gonna choose cow brush. We can scale, we can rotate any of these objects. So I can make some large cows here. Just hit the X button and we're creating a farm. We've also got something called preview mode, which lets you actually fly around the track and take pictures of your track to save to your hard drive. So I'm just gonna fly around, take a picture of our wonderful pasture, hit the L1 button, and boom, we've got a photo. I can even use this photo as a thumbnail, so after I've saved this track to my hard drive, after I've uploaded it to the PlayStation Network for everyone else to see, this thumbnail is actually gonna be the preview that everyone else sees. I'm William Ho from United Front Games, playing my track called Grazeland. You can find it online. I can't wait to see your track.